Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I'm going to be revisiting Batman Arkham Knight for the PC. Now, when this game originally came out for the PC in mid-2015, I believe, it was a total mess. The frame rate was locked to 30 and often deviated on even high-end systems. The graphics were worse than the PlayStation 4 version at the highest settings, which was remarkably rubbish. And there were random glitches, bugs, it was just terrible. I think the reason for that was that the PC version, the PC port, had basically been given not nearly enough attention to get it well optimized. And so at the time what I did was very quickly make use of the new Steam refund system, which proved to be very good, and then I went to get it on the PlayStation 4. And I realised that the PlayStation 4 version of the game was fantastic here. Yes, it ran at 30 frames per second, but the graphics were better, and I got to actually experience and play the game without these distractions. The story was fantastic, the character development was good, the voice acting was entertaining, really everything you can think of was good with Arkham Knight. Of course, if you don't like Batman, if you don't like superhero games, then it won't appeal to you. If you don't like open world games, it won't appeal to you. And to be honest, I do know certain people who didn't really care for the Batmobile, and that's fine. But I'd say, objectively speaking, it was a quality game on the PlayStation 4, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I am a PC gamer at heart, and that's what I wanted to experience Arkham Knight on originally. And now, you know, a good amount of time on, I wanted to see if the game had essentially been fixed, or at least been put into a better state than it was before, because, as I say, just couldn't play it, could not enjoy it before. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised with what the game has become, and in fact, I would argue that the game is actually now optimized better than most PC games, quite frankly. I've experienced no crashes, no random glitches, no voice sync issues, and the frame rate is very solid. The only time I ever see any kind of slight lagginess, some stutter if you will, is when going at very high speeds in the Batmobile, or when flying very quickly across the city, or across Gotham. Now I will be showing a frame rate counter in the top left corner of the screen, but I think it's more important just to give the general feel for it, because frame rate counters aren't as reliable as they should be. Sometimes you'll notice things like stutter, slow response times that a frame rate counter just cannot account for. But still, this game is extremely responsive, very fun to play, and I'd say the best version of Arkham Knight to play now. So if you're someone who quite rightfully didn't buy this game for the PC at the time, I'd say now you can put your fears to rest. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a demanding game. I mean, look at it, it's a good looking game. It's of course it's going to be demanding, so you'll still need decent hardware to get this. But the important thing to take away is that good hardware will get you good results, whereas before, good hardware wouldn't give you good results. You know, it didn't matter what you had back then, it would run terribly. Just in case you're interested in the hardware I'm running to get this kind of quality, GTX 980 Ti, 16GB of DDR4, and a hex-core i7, which is pretty high-end, but I have got all the settings on high, and I'm actually playing at 1440p, although that will most likely be downgraded for the YouTube video to see if I can show you 60 FPS, because that's going to be more representative and more relevant for more people. Of course, you can eyeball, you can make your own judgments about how the game looks and runs now, and I'm very pleased with it. You know, to be honest, if you hadn't actually been aware of the issues at the time, and you just kind of out of the blue decided to play Arkham Knight, you would be none the wiser that this game was ever, well, basically rubbish. I'd say even more so than Assassin's Creed Unity, which I did a similar thing for, where at the time it was optimized terribly when it came out, but then they slowly began to resolve things. But I'd say in the case of Arkham Knight, they've done that even more so. So if you're a PC owner, especially if you've got a high-end rig, this is actually a really good game to, well, enjoy and benchmark your system. I'm certainly doing it. I've got a new rig recently, and I'm enjoying seeing these higher quality visuals on my new machine. I feel like Arkham Knight is doing it justice. Now, don't get me wrong, this is no excuse for the game being released in the state it was. I'm not forgiving them for doing that, and neither should you. But just from the point of view of a consumer, someone who wants to play a good game, a well-running game on the PC, you are safe to do that now, and I hope you enjoy it. So, as always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.